The election.
We've survived.
Yeah.
The world did not explode or come to an end.
Well, not
quite yet.
Yeah, it's still time. But I was worried about there being anarchy last night.
I was too. I mean, especially my son is a National Guard. He's almost done with his commitments. But he got called up and had to go through actual riot control training. He was the guy with the shield, and he had a gal behind him with the baton. So the training was to basically hang on to your shield for sheer life. And if somebody came up and grabbed the top of the shield, the gal behind him with the baton would have to hit their hand, kind of a thing. Just crazy to think about.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad there wasn't anything last night.
Yeah. There was some popping off in D.C., I think.
Oh, really?
Wasn't there like 4 Proud Boys that got stabbed or something?
Oh, I don't know. I know they made that scale-proof fence around the White House.
Right. Got to protect Mr. Trump.
Yes,
from
the election.
Whatever, from the election. Yeah, but hey, guess what?
Huh.
This is episode number... Carry the 2. 10, Kyle.
10 double digits.
We're in, yes.
Yeah, double digit
nice,
DCGTV.
double digits.
Can you believe it? We made. I didn't. You know, I guess I have faith in us, but it's kind of a milestone.
It is. You know, it can be difficult as working parents. Mm-hmm. Some of us single working parents.
Single ladies. Just kidding.
To pull something like this off. I mean, to get together on a regular schedule once a week for a few hours and then do all the editing and all the stuff to make this awesomeness for you folks.
I know, and it is awesome.
It is quite awesome.
We keep getting these amazing voicemails from celebrities.
We got another one today, so
this is reaching
big heights, man. Heights.
Yeah. And it's November 4th today, 2020.
November 4th. So
yesterday was election day.
26 more days in November and then 31 more days of December, and we can finally tiptoe our way out, if we're still alive, of 2020.
Yes, wash our hands of this year.
And sanitize.
And it's November, which means I'm allowed to drink again. Which is awesome.
That's right. So we do have something for you to enjoy this evening.
Yeah.
Another little whiskey tasting. So.
Exciting. Indeed. And today is kind of the election special. So a lot of things to talk about. As of now, it's not decided yet. It's still
not decided right now.
Still being counted.
If you are sitting at home and watching us
at this moment,
which will probably be a little later than we're talking right now, Biden has just pulled ahead and has been declared the winner in Michigan, and earlier today in Wisconsin. So he's got the Electoral College votes. If they all get certified, they still need to certify Arizona and Nevada, and then
does that put him at 270 yet?
That puts him at 270.
Okay.
If he takes Nevada, which he's ahead in, if he takes Arizona, which he's ahead in, and he's already been declared for the other 2, so it's a done deal. So,
and then as of now, at least, there's Pennsylvania,
Georgia, and North Carolina. I think Maine might still be. I don't know if it's been declared for Biden yet. None of those pushed Trump close to the...
What kind of shenanigans will show up in the final hour?
There's already been calls for recalls. There's already been lawsuits filed to stop counting in Pennsylvania. Stop counting legally...
Why would we do that?
...cast ballots.
That sounds...
What in the world?
Awfully Russian to me.
Awfully dictatorial.
Yes.
Dictatorial.
Yeah.
Dictatorial? Dictatorshipal? I think that's something else. Whatever. We'll figure it out and let you know.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll be analyzing that, talking about it. I think we may have our daughters come in and share their takes.
Yeah, we should definitely do
the rumor.
They're actually here together. So.
I have some strange and funny news for us.
Okay.
We've got to talk about them Hawks again.
Gotta talk about them Hawks.
And we have another round of Crazy Eights.
Yes.
Election edition.
It is definitely an
Coming
election
at
edition.
ya.
This will be a fun one, I think.
Yeah. And I guess we take it to a break and come back with some of that news. Am I missing
Let's
something?
do that. Well, let's play the
voicemail
that we got.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if they can figure out who it is, and we'll go from there.
All right, check this out, folks.
Well, enjoy.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
And it's a big load of hooey. There's a reason it's on people's minds, because there's been a serious disinformation campaign to create that impression.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Indeed, I did have a relationship with Ms. Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong.
I find it very relaxing, and I really found it relaxing in the White House because, just for a moment, you just take your mind off whatever you're doing. I sometimes did them at lunch if I was eating alone.
Okay. That's good. We're back.
That's it, huh?
That's it.
That's all you get for your money.
I don't know, man. I'm feeling a little off today.
Okay.
Like a little tired, a little threadbare. I don't,
A little beaten up?
A little beaten up, and I'm not even all that invested politically. I mean, I voted, and I want us to have a better president, but maybe I'm emotionally exhausted from election night.
It was an emotionally exhausting night.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's bizarre.
I watched pretty much from 4 o'clock on. I took a few breaks here and there because there was nothing new to report. But it was kind of an emotional roller coaster for me. I was a Biden supporter.
Mm-hmm.
I'll share my my quick
socks,
nice. My donkey socks. My donkey socks.
Blue.
My good luck Biden socks. Watching last night. It started out so well. It was kind of like this, he's making good roads in Florida. He took Pinellas County, which is over near Tampa and St. Petersburg.
Texas was purple.
It was kind of, there was some movement there. And at the beginning of the night, you're thinking, okay, if Biden takes Florida, if Biden takes Texas, if he takes one of those, if he takes Georgia, it's over. It's a knockout punch right there, because he's not going to lose probably any of the Hillary states from last time. So it was a knockout punch, and when those kind of like, it doesn't look like there's a path there. Ohio seemed like it was going to be in play. All these places, but it was just like whoa, bam, bam, bam against the wall.
What network were you watching?
Mostly CNN. I did bounce over to Fox and over to MSNBC occasionally.
Gotcha.
But yeah, mostly CNN last night.
Nice. I did some bouncing around too. I was mostly watching with my girlfriend on MSNBC.
Okay.
This is the most news I've watched accumulative in the past 5 years was last night. I usually don't watch it, but it was the anchors were cracking me up.
Yeah,
they had the guys like at their fancy boards pushing on the stage,
Steve
down
Kornacki, and John King, and all those guys.
We're so buttons. Intense.
Yeah,
they all looked like they were on a whole bunch of speed.
They had, and it was interesting too. So when I knew things were bad, I mean, Florida was looking pretty good, but when they started doing exit polling on CNN. And it wasn't exit polling on who did you vote for. It was exit polling on which things mattered to you most.
Oh, okay.
Coronavirus was, pretty good margin, but it was down on the list. The economy was higher.
Oh.
And there was a bunch of other questions. I won't go through it all, but that kind of felt like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's feeling like Trump,
Trump topics.
Topics.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, here we are. Okay, so here we are. Biden's at like 260-something or 250-something electoral votes. There's a much better path for Biden to get to the 270 than for Trump at this point.
But it's not closed out.
It's not closed out, but it does look like a Biden victory.
Yes. Did you stay up late enough to watch his little speech?
I did.
You did?
I did. I stayed up late enough to watch the speech until I think I was watching MSNBC at that point until Rachel Maddow and the other gals pulled back out of it and said, "No, we can't continue airing this because it's complete nonsense." So, yeah.
I didn't watch the Trump one. I watched the clips of it, but I watched the Biden one, and that was a little earlier.
That was about an hour earlier or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
And he looked good. He looked like he was tired, but as we all were, so you know.
He's 70-something years old.
Yeah. I really appreciated his message today. I listened to the speech he gave. I mean, today is the 4th, probably 3 or 4 hours ago. He came out and said, "I'll be everybody's president. Doesn't matter if you voted for me or not." Like that unifying message.
Right.
Felt
And that's a good point, Kyle. Because last night did not feel like a unified country at all. Because you look at it, I mean, there's states like California, Washington, Oregon. I mean, Washington, I think, was 61% for Biden. Something like that. But your Midwest states, your Wisconsins, your Michigans, your Pennsylvanias, even your Floridas and Georgias, man, it's like 50-50.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, so friggin' divided.
Well, and it's like the cities against the counties.
Yeah.
There's like the municipalities, the big cities, they're all blue, and then everything around them is red. And that's the same story through the whole swath of the country.
And that's the same story, too, with your populated states versus your non-populated states. I mean, that's why Republicans get elected, right? Because the Electoral College keeps those Wyomings and those Idahos in play.
South Dakotas,
which, you know, 3 electoral votes doesn't get you very much, but you add, you know, 30 of them together, and it equals a lot.
Well, and the like electoral vote per population numbers, like you hear that all the time. How if you live in Wyoming, your vote's worth like 4 times what it is in California.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe even more compared to California, right?
Yeah. And you know, honestly, I understand. At least I think I do. Why that system exists and how we don't want to let the cities just dictate everything,
right?
Like in a pure numbers democracy format.
Yeah.
And it does make it weird when the president doesn't win the popular vote. That's
and there should be some weird thing, and I don't know how they do this. I'm not, you know, constitutional law guy, but it would be nice that, you know, maybe you do the Electoral College the way it is so that, you know, states still have a say. Wyoming doesn't get bulldozed by California all the time. But if you win the popular vote, maybe you get a bonus amount of Electoral College votes, right? Maybe if you, every million votes you get over the other opponent, you get, you know, 5 or 10 more Electoral College votes.
That would, because like Trump didn't even bother campaigning on the West Coast, right?
No,
like,
only to go to California to raise money.
Like you're not going to see Republicans come,
or Democrats. I mean, they'll go there, but it's all about the fundraising in California
and the battleground. Like that's where they're going to spend their time.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Trump's rally plans towards the end saved his ass. Yeah, he went to rural North Carolina. He went to rural Georgia. He went to Florida. I mean, he did what he needed to do. He just didn't do enough in his shitty presidency to, you know, put him over the top.
Well, and that's been my biggest disappointment, and I think what I was really hoping for was more of a landslide victory, like something that wasn't nearly as close, because now the door's wide open for meddling and legal challenges and recounting and fighting and bickering.
And they're going to get a lot of that. And the Democrats I don't think they lost seats in the House, which wasn't totally expected. They thought they had a chance to win back the Senate. Now that looks like it's out of reach. They might be able to get it, but it's going to be really hard to get.
I saw Montana's giving us a Democratic senator.
Oh, did Bullock pull it out?
Oh, no. Was it Montana? It was Loppenhauper or something like that.
Oh, Hickenlooper out of Colorado.
That was Colorado. Okay, Colorado. Hickenlooper. The guy's name stuck with me.
So that was a definite +1 for the Democrats. But on the flip side is they lost that Doug Jones in Alabama. Lost his seat to the Republican Tommy Tuberville, a Trump boy. That I mean, everybody was expecting that, but so no real net gain in the Senate for the Democrats. They needed 4 net seats to do any damage, but
it just goes to show you how divided we still are, and how, you know, at last I checked, there's probably numbers in now, but 67 million people voted for Trump. That's a lot of Americans that support this guy. And
that's the weird thing, Kyle, because is it they're supporting Trumpism, or are they traditional Republicans supporting Republicanism?
Or like single issue voters that are like gun rights no matter what, always voting.
I'll tell you what, I think that Ruth Bader Ginsburg dying and pushing that Supreme Court candidate, the new justice, really pushed the Republicans over the top. I mean, I think that if that hadn't happened and the court hadn't been such a issue right before the election, that maybe we'd have a different story right now.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah.
And it's bizarre. I'm still a little bit disbelief that so many people could throw their vote there. I mean, it makes sense. It's not just for Trump. The president is, I think, given more status and power than the president truly has in the public eye. And so we go there. But I hope Biden or whoever wins can do something unifying, because we're just spread it apart.
I've got a list.
Yeah.
Mr. Biden.
Good.
Things you need to do right now. You need to he needs to appoint a council on race relations.
Oh, yeah.
Get folks in there. He needs to appoint a climate czar to get in and really figure some stuff out. And the one thing the Democrats have to do, if you're listening, Nancy Pelosi, if you're listening, Chuck Schumer, listen to this. You have to get better at communicating to the American public.
Yes.
It's just, there's no two ways about it. If you don't, you're going to lose in 2 years.
Yeah, bizarre, man. And I hope that people just get better at crossing the aisle, because I know I don't know a lot of Trump supporters, but from what I've seen from where I sit, people aren't talking with each other. Like,
they're not. Yeah.
People are disfriending on Facebook. They got their own circles, their own echo chambers, and they're not engaging with people that disagree with them, and that's just making it worse and worse and worse and worse.
And when Trump does lose, which it looks like he's going to, but there's no guarantee. But let's say Trump loses, he's not going anywhere until he goes to jail. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, he's still got 2 months to kind of F everything up. But, even if he loses, he leaves the office in January, this guy's going to be all over the airwaves. He's going to be on Fox News. He's going to be tweeting stuff out. He'd probably start his own network.
He has an army.
He's got an army of Trump supporters out there. He's got the Proud Boys out there for him, all this stuff, QAnon stuff.
Yeah.
He is this Trump Messiah, this Trump Messiah out there for some people, that worship him. And he is not going anywhere soon. So he's going to make it extremely difficult for the Biden people to get anything done.
Well, and there's always going to be this huge swath of the country that feels like whatever Trump tells them, the election was stolen, that they were ripped off and robbed.
All right, Kyle, let's take a break, and why don't we bring our girls in and get their take on this whole crazy election.
I can dig it.
All right.
We'll be back.
Rock on.
See you soon. Oh, the music broke again. I'll fix it again. Oh, that worked.
We got the refugees all stars, rubbing in the club, white club.
All right.
How's it going, girls?
Good.
Yeah? Can you get a little closer to the microphone?
Biden's winning.
Biden is winning right now. What is your guys' candidate of choice?
I would probably pick Biden because I think Donald Trump is not very good for our country, and I think that he will make women's rights very wrong and make very bad rules for our country. So I think that the right choice is Biden, and if you definitely disagree with me, I'm sorry, then skip this part. Thank you. To Allie.
I would vote for Biden because he seems like he knows what he's actually doing, and he's been in the White House with one of the best presidents in my opinion, and he also seems to be winning. He's at 26 for 264 right now, and Donald Trump's still at 214 from last night. Okay.
So what political issues are important to you guys?
Hunger, women's rights.
I agree. I think that a lot of people would be very disappointed if Donald Trump was our president. And like I said last night with my parents, I said that I would think that if Biden won, some people who voted for Donald Trump would think that it was stupid of them to vote for Donald Trump because Donald Trump is not the right president.
What do you think about the fact that just about half of Americans voted for Donald Trump and about half voted for Joe Biden? What does that say about our country to you?
It says that some people think that our country maybe is bad the way it is and that it should be changed, but our country shouldn't be changed. It was perfect when Obama was the president.
Yeah, maybe not so perfect. Allie, what do you think?
It was fine.
It was good.
I think that it was perfect when Obama was president, in my opinion. And, like, some people think that the smartest person, in their opinion, should be president. Like, if Einstein was like, what could solve the world hunger? Food. Perfect, it's a solution. Boom.
Let me ask you guys this. Could you see Joe Biden or Donald Trump being your school principal?
I would hate that.
I could see
No,
him
thank
as
you.
it. I could see him at his school principal.
Which one?
See him. Probably Tiffany Park's school principal.
But which candidate? Trump or Biden? Which would make a better school principal?
Biden.
Really?
Ooh. Why do you think Trump?
Because Biden's gonna be president, so he doesn't. So he shouldn't be principal.
Maybe he could do two things. Maybe he could have his presidential office and the school office.
But then how would you be in the White House? Like,
I don't know.
The school could be in the White House.
Oh,
That would be cool.
that would be so cool, but it would probably pay money to be there.
Yeah.
What have you learned during this election as a observer to the election process?
Oh, that we don't have a lot of good people that are running for president.
Except for Biden right now.
Yeah. Biden's probably the best choice, right?
Yeah.
But maybe not the best person we could ever find.
I think Obama was probably the best president that we've ever had.
Also, I know something that needs to be changed. I want to vote. Kids should vote.
Yeah,
My cat could vote right now because she's 19 and owns her own house. But, like, it makes no sense. I want to vote. I can vote.
What age do you guys think you should be allowed to vote at?
10.
3.
3 years old?
3 years old. I don't think I think we should be able to vote when we're 7 because I think that maybe when you're 7 you'll start to know about.
At 7 you have to vote, but at 3 you have the choice.
No.
Yeah, the choice.
There are some
like scribbles like
interest in lowering the voting age to 16. Do you think that? So you think that's?
But I
a good
thought it was
idea?
at 15.
No, right now it's 18.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. How about 15? I think 15's a good age.
Yay,
15. This couch is so blingy.
What do you hope the next 4 years will bring to this country?
Kids voting.
Good luck.
Yeah.
If Biden
makes the rest of this year better. Probably a cure for coronavirus. Really everything in this year right now would be great to fix.
Yeah, definitely everything in this year.
Like Donald Trump never going for president again. I would like that to be fixed.
Yes.
You can't be president.
That needs to be fixed.
Unless he goes to jail, he can run again in 2024.
He's gonna go to jail. I'm gonna make him go to jail. He's going to jail. For all the people who voted for Trump, really no. I'm not.
Yeah, really bad.
Sorry. I'm kind of not sorry.
Do you want me to start this one up again?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
What else? What else do you girls want us to know about the election? What would you tell adults that they need to hear this year?
That you guys don't really understand how weird this election is for kids.
Oh.
It's really weird.
Say more.
Like we got like most of these presidents for United States have been old white men. That's kind of the deal what we're getting here.
Did you like the fact that Biden selected a woman?
That's what I was just going to talk about.
That's the only reason why I actually voted for him. I mean, I'm
actually wanting 2 reasons why I want Biden to win. One of them is because I know Biden will be better than Trump. And another reason is no woman has ever ran in the presidential office. So I would want
Hillary Clinton to be the president right now. She has a right to want to be the president.
I don't know how Trump won last year.
Last 4 years.
Yeah.
Last term.
Last time.
Yeah.
All good.
But I don't know how he won because Hillary got more votes than Donald Trump did, and I don't think that's very fair.
Yeah, so we were talking about that earlier with the Electoral College, and I know Olivia and I talked about it.
There's this group of people who can actually have it's not illegal, but they can they can change the votes and choose actually who they want to do and change the votes, and they can't go to jail for it.
That's true. That's the Electoral College is, I think, what you're talking about, right? So the Electoral College was mostly set up so that rural counties and rural states will have a fair shake in the election. But I'll have you know that in the last 7 of 10 elections, Democrats have had the majority of the vote but have not been elected. Do you think that's fair?
I think that the people should have the rights to do what they want, not kill people and use knives. They shouldn't do that. I mean, for cooking, they can do that. But people should have the right to vote. All people, even toddlers, should have the right to vote, and cats and dogs should have the right to vote, because people need to know everyone's opinion. And no one should be able to change that, because a lot of people need to know that that's what people are saying, and that's what the people want.
What's the number one issue for you guys you want to see change right now besides coronavirus?
Wait.
What's the
world hunger?
I have 2 things to say. Sorry, that camera's not on. 2 things to say.
It's not recording anymore.
Yeah. That's what I've been trying to say. One of them is I don't think younger kids should have more of the right to vote because, sorry, I'm a little disagreeing with you. I don't think animals, because they don't really know much about anything. Sorry, animals. And sorry, Allie, I disagree with you a little bit. I don't think toddlers should have the right to vote. Sorry, toddlers. But I don't think they should have the right to vote because they don't know much about the presidential stuff.
Well, it's nice to see that you guys disagree on that point, but you're not angry at each other for it. And that's
why would we ever be angry?
Well, that's what's happening in this country right now, right?
It's a debate.
All right, guys, our time is running out for our segment with you, so say goodbye.
Well, goodbye.
P.S. Goodbye.
Biden's still winning. Trump is still losing.
Woo! Bye! Have a nice day! See y'all later.
From the mouths of babes.
From the mouths of babes, indeed. That was fun.
You know, they are pretty in tune with what's happening. Maybe not 100% on all the issues, but man.
It's got to be odd being a kid in this weird election. I know Allie's been looking at the electoral maps online quite a bit and tracking stuff and runs in Biden won another state and gets excited about it, which is cool. But bizarre times, man. This year is going to sit with all of us for many reasons.
I just hope you always hope that the younger generation kind of takes the mantle of the voting. And, if you want a 70-year-old white male to make decisions for your 24-year-old life, you know what I mean? Your 18, 19-year-old life, that's going to affect you for the next 10, 15, 20 years, then by all means, don't vote. Or vote for Trump or whatever.
Yep.
It's a little late for the speech now, but man, the young people have got to get out there and take care of business. If you want things to change, it's the only way to do it.
Yes, well, maybe the times will be made hard enough to make hard people. And they can make good times, which will make soft people.
Yeah.
Which will make bad times, which will make hard people.
This philosophy's corner? Right?
We're going to go in cycles. Well, hey, it's no longer Sober October. We have a little more election news to share. Well, I have a couple things that are kind of funny. But I would love to get back on the whiskey train. Can we do it?
The whiskey train is here, Kyle. I picked up a nice little straight bourbon whiskey from Eastern Washington.
Oh, Washington local. All right.
See that? I don't know if it's focusing. I can't tell.
It probably is.
Yeah, so check it out, man.
What do we got? What do we
Huckleberry.
got? Blue Spirits. May I read the bottle to the people? It all started with prohibition.
It did.
Indelibly branding spirits with mystery and desire. We introduce our spirits with the same attitude and sense of defiance our forefathers intended. Authentic and true. American distillers, a revolutionary past looking to the future. Blue Spirits is the spirit of Lake Chelan. Sit back, relax, and contemplate life as you enjoy the essence of our lake. Drink responsibly and always be just cheeky.
Just cheeky.
Just cheeky. See, it's signed.
It kind of starts off American Revolutionary and then it ends with a little British humor.
It is. Should I pop this thing?
Let's pop this thing, man. Let's try it out.
Yeah.
So, my understanding is this whiskey comes from the waters of Lake Chelan, which is a big, big lake in eastern Washington, kind of in the middle of the state.
Yeah, it's a beautiful lake. Lots of cool wineries out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, distilleries.
I used to swim in that lake every summer. So I hope I didn't leave anything behind.
Well, we're going to be putting it in our face. How's that aroma? Is it a lovely aroma?
It's pretty nice. It's kind of mild.
It's good. All right.
All right, let's
Are you ready?
Down the hole.
To a new president.
Indeed.
I like it.
That's pretty good.
I like it. It's smooth.
It's smooth to start with.
Little
and then it has a
tingly.
slow, gradual burn.
Yeah, got some tingle to it.
Little tingle.
I like it. It's got a sweetness.
That's pretty good.
I'm not going to say it's caramelly, even if it is. Which it is.
It's got kind of a light color to it.
Yeah. Oh, it does. Nice golden hue.
Yeah.
Is this what you put in Lake Chelan?
I'll never
Good
tell.
stuff. Hey, Charles, do you want to hear some alcohol-related election news?
Let's do it.
This is kind of fun. So, you can go on Google and look up the most searched terms and all that kind of stuff. Well, there's been a record as of yesterday. The most Google searches for liquor stores near me record was set. That is now officially a bar.
Nice.
So we'll see if we cross it with some other wild event. But
Do you know what the previous record was?
I don't. But it reached the new high of this particular term being searched.
Yeah.
And we dug in a little bit. And so I can tell you about the most anxious states where this was searched the most and the least anxious states.
Yeah.
So our most anxious states where the most people were searching for liquor were Delaware, Maryland, Tennessee, and Georgia. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Those are, crazy states.
Pretty crazy states.
Yeah. And the least anxious states where this search was done the least were Hawaii, Maine, Nebraska, and Iowa. Which is a little surprising. Maybe it's that, at least in Iowa and Nebraska, maybe it's kind of that Puritan.
Maybe, yeah.
Some of that.
Yeah. And Hawaii is so laid back
spirits.
that
Yeah.
I don't know that they would need too much.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, interesting.
Kind of a weird, it's a little snapshot of the world. Other election news. Drugs did well this election.
I saw some about that.
So we have a lot more states legalizing. I should have brought the list in, but I know, I think Oregon decriminalized even heroin, cocaine, and meth.
Okay.
Psilocybin, magic mushrooms, became legal in a couple states.
Right.
And we had several more states sign on for recreational marijuana.
Yeah, it's just amazing to me that that's not a national thing yet. But
it'll be interesting if all the states do it except one or two.
Yeah.
And then it's still federally illegal.
Right.
Like,
right.
oh, what's going to happen?
Yeah, because that's the problem right now is you could start a grow operation, get a license and everything, but you can't really deposit
the banks won't take your
into
money.
The banks, right? Yeah. We, my day job, I actually work for a couple of grow facilities, but they managed to pay us in checks somehow.
Well, who knows? Maybe it's just a Washington State only bank.
Yeah, maybe so.
It doesn't have any federal insurance.
Credit union or something. No, FDIC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bizarre. This is good though. I am enjoying this, and I will say that on Halloween we were kicking it at your place, playing some games. Very fun.
Yep.
And at midnight I was home, but we busted some champagne, and I had my first drink.
Nice.
Some champagne. And then last night we drank like 2 bottles of wine. So it's coming back. But I'm still doing the running and the yoga, so that's sticking with me. We're going to keep it
Good
going.
on you.
We're going to keep it going.
Gotta keep it going.
I also heard some news. This isn't really election related, though, but I'm just going to go into it. Why the hell not? Apparently, the Pentagon has for some time had a UFO research team. They've had this investigation group looking into UFOs. And a former member of that team, an astrophysicist, he was a former consultant, has claimed publicly that we have examined crafts that are not made on Earth.
Oh.
That are definitely not of Earth. So I think the alien announcement is going to come sooner than we think.
Okay.
I think maybe it already happened, folks.
Okay.
Aliens are real, UFOs are real, according to the Pentagon.
Huh. Do you think Trump's going to declassify that right before he leaves office?
Maybe that's one of those things that presidents aren't allowed to touch. That's one of those like Bill Hicks-esque scenarios where they bring the newly elected president into a back room and, what does he say, show him some like angle of the JFK assassination nobody's ever seen before.
Exactly.
And they ask any questions.
Yeah. Man, if you just jumped into that as president, it'd probably blow your friggin' mind, right?
Yeah.
What?
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, all the secrets.
Yeah. Wild sauce. Well, I have one more piece of news.
Yeah, lay it on us.
And I'm curious. I want you to tell me and the people when in this story you are surprised.
Okay.
Okay, point 1. A Russian oligarch was killed. No. Point 2. The Russian oligarch was known as the Sausage King. He owned most of Russia's largest meat processing plants. Number 3. He was killed in a sauna.
I mean, kind of. Every Russian mob movie I've ever seen, they're always in a sauna. So.
All right, number 4. He was killed with a crossbow.
Okay, now I'm a little surprised.
Yeah. Killed with a crossbow in a sauna. Poor Sausage King.
I got to 4.
Yeah. And number 5. He was with a woman, and they were both tied up and had money demanded from them.
Okay.
Somehow she escaped and told the story.
What?
And no arrests have been made.
Wow. So we're trying to say that this was some kind of ordinary kind of a thing with a crossbow?
Yeah, in a crossbow stick up. And the woman somehow got away to tell the story.
Was he mean to Putin? Because...
Right? I've heard, like, Russian oligarch is one of the most dangerous jobs you could possibly have.
I mean, it's great for a while, right?
Yeah.
You got all the money in the world for a minute, and then it's like, oh, you pissed somebody off.
Yeah, or somebody else wants your seat.
Yeah.
Somebody's nephew.
At the table.
As owed a favor. Yeah.
It's time to retire.
Good God.
Man, oh man.
Yeah. Well, this is delicious. Why don't we take him to a break and we can come back and talk a little bit about them Hawks.
Yes.
And see, they had a pretty big weekend.
They did have a big weekend. They got another one coming up.
Yeah, indeed. Salute to that. We'll see you soon. Kind of fitting.
You know what? I'm down with OPP.
Are you down with OPP? Do I know you?
You know me.
All right. Cool. Well, you know who else was naughty by nature?
Who was that?
Them Hawks.
Them Hawks
were looking good against the Niners.
You know, looking good for quite a bit of the game.
Yes.
And then I think they might have gone into like soft prevent defense and let Nick Mullins look like a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah. It was fun when he came in and all of a sudden they started moving. I was like, wait.
Wait.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well,
yeah. Niners. Just a quick side note: Niners are looking pretty horrible for the rest of the year. Kittle is out probably for most of the year. Garoppolo is going to be out for another several weeks, most of the year.
He looked hurt coming into the game. Was he hurt before the game?
He had missed 2 games, and I think this was his second game back. He actually looked pretty good the week prior in New England.
Okay.
But yeah, he got hurt, and he's might be done in San Francisco. I don't know. Talking to some of my San Francisco friends.
Not happy with the Garoppolo?
Not happy with the Garoppolo.
He did have some pretty off the mark passes that game. Like before they took him out, he was there was a few that were. And how many did we have? A couple picks. I'm trying to plumb in my brain.
We had at least one, and then I think a fumble recovery, right?
Yes, that's right.
A couple turnovers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember because the election kind of came in between that, and it kind of threw it.
It does. And Russ had another huge game.
DK Metcalf is the man. Man, that kid is just exciting.
Tough.
Just another great game. If it's not DK, it's going to be Tyler. If it's not Tyler, it's going to be DK. And then you've got David Moore, the other wide receiver, sort of roaming around, and he's getting passes too. And then they had their starting 3 running backs were out, and they had their new rookie kid DJ Dallas, who's DJ, love you, man. You're not a tall dude, 5'6" or something, but that kid 5'8". But that kid had a pretty good game. He had a couple boneheaded things. He wasn't, super dynamic in the run, but caught some passes, scored a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, holy moly!
What is he, 3rd or 4th string coming in?
So I mean, the strings are Chris Carson, who was out, Carlos Hyde, who was out, Rashad Penny, who's been out all year. And then it's DJ Dallas and Travis Homer.
Yeah.
And Homer, I don't know, wasn't playing all that much either. So I don't know.
Bizarro. It was nice. It was nice to see the D lock stuff down too, though. And who knows how much of that is due to San Fran just not being on their A game. But
their defense is pretty tough.
Yeah.
Their offense not as much. But yeah, man, Russ had a great game. Another reason, pushing him towards that MVP.
I think he had 4 TDs again. 3 maybe.
He had 4.
He had 4. Okay.
Yep, I was hoping for that 5th one.
Yeah.
He is on pace. I mean, he's over pace to get the most touchdowns in a season. That was set by our friend Peyton Manning from when he was with the Broncos in 2013. He scored 55 touchdowns that year in a season, and then he got blown out by the Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
but Russell's on pace to beat that.
All right. I read a news article. I didn't read the whole thing, but I read something about Russell this week that apparently he spends over $1 million a year on his body on training. Like he has a $1 million a year personal training budget. So that's like everything from like nutrients and supplements and hot cold training and probably yogas and all that stuff. Like he has got a big investment in his physicality.
It is paying off, man.
Yeah,
it is paying off. And I mean, the kid makes 20 million just in his contract alone a year, and then endorsement deals. Who knows? On top of that. So I mean, he can.
Well, he's kind of
afford it.
He's kind of hitting prime right now too. I think he's like 31. Still incredible. Now he's got the experience. Still in great shape.
Yep.
Hasn't missed a game.
Not missed a game
since he started as a rookie.
Right.
And he's had some years with some awful O-lines where he just got beat up. He gets hit a lot compared to most other quarterbacks in the league.
I mean, he has been injured, but he hasn't missed a game. He's had, some beat ups. It's a football player. It's a football game. It's a rough game, but you're right, man. He is Mr. Iron Man out there. He could go for another 9 years.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, Brady's 43.
Breeze is what, 40, 41, 42, something like that.
And they're stacking good teams. They're doing well, too, these older quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Totally. They're not maybe running like the same way.
But they're still chucking it out there.
Yeah.
And he's got a good arm, and he's got a good eye. I mean, he drops that ball. What do they call it? The rainbow.
The moon ball. The moon ball.
Right into the basket.
That's good.
So.
Well, in honor of Russ, may I have another little thing? It's that
Please
time.
do, yeah.
Who we got next?
So we've got Buffalo.
Ooh, they're really good this year.
Doing good this year. I think they have the same record. Oh, by the way, Seahawks, I think, are top of the NFC.
Total.
Highest record because our friends from the Green Bay Packers lost. Steelers are top of all of it NFL.
They're still undefeated, right?
7-0.
Yeah.
But Seahawks are right behind them, man.
All right, so we're going to Buffalo.
Going to Buffalo.
That's all the way across the damn country.
And then we go to Los Angeles to play the Rams.
Okay.
And then we come home to play the Cardinals. So this was always going to be the toughest 5-game stretch in the season. And so far we're 1-1. So that's not bad. I mean, if we lose another game or two in this stretch, it's not the end of the world, because they end the season with 5 games that should be fairly easier. Because we've got the Giants coming up, we've got Philadelphia coming up, we've got the Washington football team coming up. They all suck. So, I mean, they're all horrible teams. So, that should be an easy 3 stretch.
Well, and our defense, like our secondary is not back yet, right? Adams did not play last week.
Jamal's back this week.
This week is back.
Sure.
Okay.
They should be getting Snacks Harrison in, a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
And they had traded last week for Carlos Dunlap from the Bengals, who should be ready to go this week too. I think he's practicing starting tomorrow.
All right.
So he should be in the lineup. Might not get a ton of snaps, but he'll be out there playing. I mean, the defensive line doesn't have to completely learn, the playbook, right?
No,
They
go hit the quarterback.
Go hit the quarterback.
Yeah.
Get in there and hit the quarterback.
Yeah.
They just know that on this scheme, this guy's going to go through the 2 gap, and then you're supposed to go through, round
they
the
can
back.
get fancy with their little stunts and
They
their
can,
little switches.
So, I mean, but it's a defensive line. I mean, it's not like it's a hard playbook.
The most complicated position in football.
Yeah, exactly.
Besides field goal kicker.
Yeah. And how about our punter, man? Our Australian kid, Michael Benson. He is all pro right now.
Yeah, he's just dropping them inside the 5, like left and right. And they have that backspin thing.
And the backspin thing that he's got?
Yeah, what?
Man, they lucked out when they got him. So
for those of you that are at home and don't know this, I lived in Australia for a year, and I went to a lot of Aussie rule football games, and I can see why getting some of those guys on the NFL for kickers is amazing. 1, they're wicked tough, and 2, you have to pass the ball with kicks in Aussie rules football. You either have to punch it or you have to kick it to somebody else. So you get really good at kicking it far and accurately.
Is the ball more like a rugby ball?
It is, yeah. Like it's got much more rounded follow. So they usually kick it right off the tip there because you can get a really good accurate blast. And if you don't catch the pass you received, then it's a free ball. So there's also like an element of putting it up where it's hard to get. Like placing the ball really specifically as a kicker.
Interesting.
Yeah, so good skill tie over into the punter position.
Yeah.
Although they probably miss hitting people because it is pretty violent too. And punters don't get to do that too much.
No, he's not the biggest dude. I mean, he's tall. He's kind of skinny, but I think he's pretty muscular. And I mean, the guy can kick like nobody's business. So
accurately, far.
Good on him.
Yeah,
good on him.
Indeed.
And that could be the change of the game, right?
Dude, totally. Like there's a few games we've had where they've put him down on like the 1 or 2 yard line. You take him on a 3 and out. That's immediate.
It really makes him work hard to get out of that situation, and usually it ends up in a 3 and out.
Mm-hmm. And it's exciting because there might be a safety. Yeah. One of my favorite plays in football.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, indeed. So go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Going to Buffalo at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. start because it's East Coast.
And it might be cold over there. It's November.
It'll be cold.
Northern New York.
It's sweater weather here.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right, go Hawks.
Right on.
We'll be back soon. We promise. We're good. Hey.
We're back.
Welcome back, everybody.
And Kyle, we like to play a little game on this show.
Is it time?
It's time for
election style.
This is the election edition. Kyle and I got together and we put together lists separately, but equally, of our favorite U.S. presidents of all time, right?
Yes, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of crossover.
I would imagine.
Yeah, indeed. Well, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll kick off.
All right.
I've got both Republicans and Democrats, even though I kind of lean towards the D column most of the time.
That's evolved over the years, too, though. Like, Republican meant something different.
It did.
Back in
really
Lincoln's day.
Well, even back in Truman and that whole time frame, Eisenhower's days.
Yeah.
It really did. So, my Number 8, and even though he got away, I think, with a lot of shenanigans, this was the right guy at the right time. I'm talking about Ronald Reagan, the great communicator.
Indeed.
So this is the guy that was able to sort of unite the nation. Very prosperous time frame in the 80s up until the late 80s. And he destroyed the Soviet Union, the USSR, by outspending them.
Is he the guy that said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, great communicator. Who would have thought a, sort of low-rent Clark Gable would have been president? But anyway.
I heard some good things about him the other day. I was listening to this documentary on World War II, and they were talking about the Japanese internment camps and how that was just, this dark history of our American past. And apparently Ronald Reagan gave one of the most eloquent apologies for that period in our history that any president's ever given.
Okay.
And they were talking about his speech addressing that. My number 8 is older than Reagan, a earlier president, early 1900s president, who's known for his conservation and protection of the environment, Theodore Roosevelt.
That's my number 5.
All right. Yeah. I know there's some controversy around him. He was a bit of an a-hole in some ways and was really mean to the Native Americans. But he also set up a lot of protections for the environment that still exist today. Which I
set up a whole bunch of national parks. He was also, as a Republican, known for being an antitrust trust buster.
That's what I heard, yeah.
So big time on that. But yeah, big on the conservation, the national parks. True republicanism is, as I think of republicanism, it's the Teddy Roosevelt Republican.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right. Where did you come in at number 7?
Number 7, I went with nostalgia for a guy that I've longed for. All
right,
for the last 4 years. And that is Barack Obama.
Oh, he came in at number 7.
Who hasn't been gone for very long, but I harken back. And this could be just because of who we've got now. I sort of long for the calming nature of a president that knows how to talk to the American people.
Yes, how to calm people down.
I don't know that he was the best. I know that he tried his hardest to get stuff done. He could have maybe tried harder to compromise with the Republicans, but the Republicans really felt like they did everything they could to stymie.
What did McConnell, like as soon as he came into the office, McConnell was like, we're going to oppose him.
We're going to make him a one-term president.
And
just oppose everything he does. So.
Well, he's my number 5, so gotta get Obama on the list to the top 8.
Right on.
My number 7 is Truman.
Okay.
Mr. Truman. He's the guy that finished World War II when Roosevelt died.
Right.
But he... my brain just farted. This election stuff. I had this great reason, something I loved about Truman.
Here. The buck stops here. That was what it was, right?
Yeah, well, something like that. I don't remember now. My brain farted, but likes Truman, so he's my number 7. I'm going to stop there before I dig a hole.
No worries. There's no hole digging. We don't judge. My number 6, and this is another nostalgic vote because this guy was super important to my mom. This was her young adult life, but John F. Kennedy was her guy. But you think about what he did in his very short time, because he was assassinated 3 years into his term.
He saved us all.
Saved us all. Big pigs. Stopped the Cuban Missile Crisis. And he was sort of this first-time glamorous personage that made the presidency more than just an old stodgy guy in the White House. He kind of was this dream of presidency.
And he was the youngest president we've ever had still, right?
Still, I think, 30, what was he, 30?
I was reading about Theodore Roosevelt. I guess he was 43. So he was the youngest until JFK, I believe.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
right on.
Very cool. My number 6 is our friend and World War II vet Eisenhower.
Okay.
And I'm a bit of a conspiracy theory, and I have JFK on my list as number 4, so we'll square it away. But JFK had that speech about a secret cabal controlling America that conspiracy theorists love to pull in. And Eisenhower closed his term with the famous speech about the military-industrial complex and a warning against them becoming too powerful.
Right.
And he formed NASA. So points to him.
And I think they did.
Yes.
The military-industrial complex.
But yet he formed NASA, which I thought was funny, because that's kind of part of the military-industrial.
It kind of is, but it's not Space Force.
Indeed. It's
not. All right. You had Teddy Roosevelt, so that was my number 5. So my number 4 is Mr. Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, the Thomas Jefferson.
Basically, the architect of the United States. He wrote the Declaration of Independence.
Very smart man.
He bought a huge swath of America. He actually brought in, I think, more of America during his term than any other president.
The Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah, just a huge swath of land.
Didn't he send Lewis and Clark out too?
He did,
the president that sent them on their mission?
Sent them on their mission. So
that's
he's my guy.
cool.
I read something interesting too, because a lot of people are down on Thomas Jefferson right now because he owned slaves and stuff like that. My understanding, and I may be wrong about this, so don't write in if you do, address it to Kyle, is that he had to keep his slaves because in Virginia law said that if you owned slaves, you could not free them if you were in debt. And he was in debt, so he wasn't allowed to free them. Whether that's true or not, I know he did father some children. I
have a statement on this, by the way, and this might be, people may disagree with me, that's fine. I am sick of people tearing down Founding Father statues and people of the past who were morally repugnant by our standards today, but morally ahead in their time. And I think that's ridiculous. You got to be careful. I mean, what if 50 years down the road, it's considered savagery and an abomination to eat the flesh of animals? They're going to cancel your ass. So you can't take like a judgment of today.
Ronald McDonald, I'm turning down your...
Yeah, watch out what you're doing, people. Like these people, yes, there are issues with everybody. Nobody's perfect. Yeah. But if we judge everybody of the past with today's standards, we're going to lose all of our heroes.
Yep.
Exactly. So there you go. There you go. All right, so Obama was my number 5, then JFK was my 6. That brings, or to my 4. That brings me to my 3. And I'm sure this guy's on your list too. Maybe he's not though.
Maybe not.
Because he owned slaves. George Washington.
That's my number 3.
All right. Hey, our first president. I mean, you got to give it. He was the general during the Revolutionary War. He really architected our victory to that. And
without him, there's no U.S. of A.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right. And he could have been king, but he turned it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
And set a lot of the expectations of power when he stepped down from power. And a lot of people didn't think he would do that.
Right.
And he did. And it kind of set the stage for our country.
Nice. So that was both our number 3s.
Yeah.
My number 2, FDR.
Really? Are we tied? We are tied.
That's my number 2 as well. Got us through the Great Depression and got us through most of World War II.
Yeah. Well, and he set up the New Deal, Social Security. Like the country would not be what it is today without. Exactly. And we got to give a shout out too here to Eleanor Roosevelt, who ran the country when he was infirm multiple times.
Right.
And she was basically our first female president in some ways.
Yeah.
But and he was in a wheelchair, not a very like alpha male-y kind of guy. He really helped like
kind of nerdy looking, sickly.
Yeah. And despite it, he was traveling around with Churchill doing dangerous stuff like in the middle of... Was he... I got a question for you before I know we're time. But was he spoken of in the movie you watched with Tom Hanks about the sub-killing destroyer thing?
I don't remember
that would have been
he came up in that movie or not. I don't remember.
Well, anyway, I know that they made at least a few trips across the Atlantic together, Churchill and Roosevelt, on boats when there were U-boats around. And that's pretty ballsy.
That's pretty ballsy.
That's pretty ballsy.
That is pretty ballsy.
Yeah. Well, he was my number 2 also. And my number 1, I think we're probably the same. It's hard to
not be.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln.
Yes. Honest Abe, dog.
And so much for our country. And probably the most turbulent time our country's ever faced, he was our leader.
Yeah.
And he ended slavery. He won the Civil War. He was from the sticks.
Kept the Union together.
Yeah.
Tall, lanky dude with a crazy hat.
Yeah.
That, probably never would have been thought of.
No. Well, and and you hear this, and a lot of presidents did this, and a lot of politicians did this back in his day, but speeches that would last an entire afternoon, 5-hour speeches in front of people, things that you would never see happen in modern politics, but really a monumental figure in our history.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, folks, that's our Crazy Eights. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and our brief election special.
Yeah.
Filming here on a Wednesday while the results still come in. And hopefully...
we'll know by the time you guys are watching this.
Indeed.
What the end results are.
Indeed.
And hopefully, whoever you voted for, your candidate has won. And you don't have to move to Canada. But hey, I recommend Canada. It's a nice place.
It is, but they're not letting us in anyway. But for that, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kyle McCurdy.
And I'm not.
Thank you for watching.